This Ag Business Update brought to you by American Implement, indebted to the past, committed to the future. In a moment, Kansas Farm Service Agency Director Dennis McKinney.
When you've had a best friend for over 50 years, you develop a trust. And the Scott Co-op has been a trusted rural friend since 1957. A co-op keeps money in the area, doing business for and with their members. And that helps keep their hometown thriving with keeping money in the community. Scott Co-op is not just an elevator. It's the rural way of doing business. So, when you see an elevator, remember your friends at Scott Co-op. S&S Trailer Sales, with 2 locations in Ness City, Kansas, is where everybody goes to buy or rent trailers. They feature the all-new, all-aluminum Mauer grain trailer with all of the electric options, the easy-to-load detached trailers, and a huge stock of header trailers. At the West location, you'll find bumper poles, goosenecks, and oilfield specialty trailers, along with flat and utility beds for pickups. S&S Trailer Sales in Ness City and on the web, but remember, you do have to spell out the "and."
And joining us now is Dennis McKinney, who is the State Director for the Farm Service Agency here in Kansas. Hi, Dennis.
Hey, good afternoon. Good to be here.
Great to catch back up with you. Let's, first, let's kind of get a general overall update. I know we've seen a lot of announcements come out from USDA Farm Service Agency on some things. Just you got a broad overview for us of kind of what's happening right now?
Yeah, a couple things real quickly. We have sign up going on right now for the ERP2 and the PART program, Pandemic Assistance Revenue Program. What we're seeing is kind of a shift to revenue-based programs so we can target limited resources to producers who need it the most. And we calculate actual impact on revenue, not just what was lost from that one event. So most of this compares 2018 and 19 to 2020 and 21. So for the most part, not that many Kansas producers will be eligible for much of a payment on these programs, because for us, 20 and 21 were far better years than 18 and 19. 18, we had a drought, not much wheat, and we had much better years crop-wise and price-wise in 20 and 21. But I would ask you, for producers out there who are based primarily on livestock revenue, particularly some of those who produce seed stock and purebred livestock, check out the PART program. Go through the worksheet. It's farmers.gov. You'll find that worksheet. Go through it with your accountant. Probably go through it with your accountant after April 15th. But walk through it with your accountant and see if you do qualify and bring that into one of our FSA offices. But particularly for those people who are primarily livestock based, that produce the Pandemic Assistance Revenue Program may be of assistance to you because it recognizes livestock losses. But we are shifting to more revenue-based programs.
Okay. Now, we know we've at least made it through summer or through winter. We are in spring now, but still, there's still some availability maybe for that the Livestock Forage Program, LFP, because, boy, we're going to struggle until we can get
Got the old drought monitor here. We watch this every week, almost every day. But and the drought's backed off in Oklahoma, Texas, Nebraska, some parts of Colorado. The bullseye is kind of right on southwest Kansas and kind of down Highway 160 all the way into southeast Kansas. We still are in D3 and D4 drought in many counties, which has triggered the LFP for small grains grazing. And so all that big part of Kansas where we do graze a lot of wheat, triticale, rye, that qualifies for the LFP payment. Some producers may want to wait to see if we get into the summer grazing season in April. If we're still in D3 and D4, that'll trigger on grass. So our offices configured all at one time so that it saves a step for the producer and actually saves a step for our staff as well. But I just want producers to be aware that that's out there. We will not be able to pay on LFP for small grains grazing until later in April, but that's out there, so be aware of it. We want you to apply. I'd also say keep an eye on what happens late summer. I believe the Omnibus Appropriations Bill did have some relief for 2022. We're not sure what form that'll be, and USDA won't get around to it until later this summer. But for Kansas producers, that's what we're really interested in. What programs are there for 2022? Because that's a rough year all across Kansas.
Right.
So that's what Kansas producers will need to keep an eye on.
We're talking with Dennis McKinney, who is the State Director for the Farm Service Agency. We're going to take a break, come back, and talk about the Conservation Reserve Program. We'll do that in just a moment.
Wolfter Construction and Irrigation has been around a long time, and a lot of folks have trusted them to design, build, and service all sizes of commercial and on-farm storage for grain and equipment. Wolfter is also known for their outstanding irrigation division, where they stock a complete selection of nozzles, regulators, drops, gear drives, electrical, and structure components. Looking for an electric motor? Wolfter has a large selection in single and three-phase. Next time, reach out to the pros who have decades of experience at taking care of business the right way. Wolfter Construction and Irrigation.
Would you like to see something done about high gas prices and low unemployment? Western Place Energy in Campus, Kansas is doing something about it. They're a proud part of Growth Energy, America's ethanol supporters, and they employ 38 people and will be adding more following the expansion. Ethanol fuel not only reduces the cost of regular gasoline, it's good for the environment and keeps money right here in the United States while supporting local rural jobs. Western Plains Energy, doing something for the future.
And our guest is Dennis McKinney, who is the state director for the Farm Service Agency here in Kansas. And Dennis, before we talk about the CRP program, also an announcement just a few days ago where the secretary said maybe some tweaks to the farm loan program as some of these farmers need some assistance.
Yeah, there's a program came to the Inflation Reduction Act to provide some assistance to producers who are struggling to make payments on their farm loans with the FSA farm loan program. We'll be getting more guidance on that in the next few days to see, who actually will qualify for that, trying to target, resources to those who need it the most. A lot of our programs try to help producers manage risk, mitigate risk. Obviously, we should not remove all risk because then the capitalist system markets don't work like they should. But in agriculture, where we have a lot of weather risk and price risk, what we try to do is stabilize that system of family farms and help them manage some of that risk. And that's kind of what we're doing here at the Farm Loan Program. I'll also say when we make direct loans, we do guaranteed loans, and we've shortened that application form from about 26 pages down to like 12 pages. So it's an easier process, I believe, than it used to be.
All right. Now let's talk about the Conservation Reserve Program. We know the sign up is going on now for the next few days, and there's always that continuous with some other situations. But you just showed that drought monitor, and it looks like we should almost all of Southwest Kansas should once again be qualified to be able to make this happen. But are we seeing some challenges?
Yeah, we are. Because of course we look at CRP as program used mostly in Western Kansas, particularly in those old Dust Bowl counties where we have still have the photographs from the Dust Bowl. We're finding some problems with our erodibility indexes in this system. It's a new system, and we're finding quite a few lands in places like Seward County or Greeley County or Hamilton County, where we would expect it to all be eligible, are showing up as ineligible. So we're raising those concerns with our national office that highly erodible lands not getting calculated as highly erodible in Western Kansas, which is a problem. CRP sign up number 60, general CRP sign up number 60. We'll also have continuous CRP signups going on for some of those really critical, like waterfowl habitat and lesser prairie chicken habitat. Those will continue, but this sign up goes on until mid-April on general CRP sign up number 60. Makes me feel old because I participated in CRP sign up number 1.
I remember those days quite well as well. All right, Dennis. So again, now folks with information about what we've talked about, maybe some situations of what qualifies, what may not, on if they want to sign up some ground for CRP. Farmers.gov, is that the best place to go?
Farmers.gov is there. You can find a lot of information there. Just go into your local FSA service center. Our folks that love their producers, and they don't mind if you want to come in and ask questions. We have a really top deck team out there that provides public service and sets a standard for excellence in public service.
Absolutely. That's probably the best way to do it. But I know they're all awful busy seemingly all the time, but maybe a good place to start is on the web, but absolutely go in and see your local service center. So Dennis, thanks a lot for joining us, giving us the update on what's happening, and let's stay in touch as we learn more. So thanks a lot.
Hey, thank you.
Dennis McKinney, Executive Director of the State Farm Service Agency.
The cost of everything has gone up dramatically over the last 75 years. with one exception: keeping electricity affordable.
Wheatland Electric, delivering energy for life, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
10:30 KBUF has agriculture information for you weekdays beginning at 6 with Agriculture Today, then the KBUF Morning Show, where we talk to newsmakers, talk a lot about these markets, and more information to help you make a profit on the farm and ranch and helps you make those better decisions. Follow along on our social media pages. You can also listen to any Western Kansas broadcast station online, westernkansasnews.com. I'm Ken Rahjes. Thanks for joining us.